Hey,
Fucking take two.
pick 'em pie, big gun Brian Petrie, giving out the lot. One is mortal, you know it won't miss. Gonna take a shot, dog lock, that's the underdog. Yeah, they in the hunt. Send them homeless, KO or submission. Yeah, somebody done. Slime ball, yeah, that's the parlay. We gon' make it known. Pick 'em pie from MMA takes. Yeah, let's get it going.
So let's take two. I went on a whole fucking rant, right? I'm only want to get into my technical difficulties, but I came in hot. I'm coming in hot this podcast. I think I might have fucked up the intro there. My mic stand was on my fucking keyboard. Not having a good week, boys. Not having a good week. Frustrated to high heaven. I'll jump right into the personal stuff. We'll get to some of the highlights, that some big news happening in the MMA world. Then we'll get to the fucking pick'ems. Then we'll get to the cash money. Then we'll get to the slime balls, which is extra slimy. Then we'll get to the green hammer. Then we'll get to the locks and all that good shit. First things first, insurance companies, I'm calling you out. I'm not going to name my insurance company because there could be some legal proceedings and I don't want this to come back and fucking bite me in the ass or something like that, because you never fucking know. But insurance companies calling you out. Okay? Calling you out. Simple as that. Simple as that. Insurance companies, I want to fight you. As you guys know, back in August, my wife got rear-ended, right? And I called my insurance company to let them know. A woman I talked to insisted, you got to file a claim through us. That way we get this taken care of. You're on the road again and you're back. And we'll go after the people that hit you. Okay? Not to mention my car was running fine. Just got rear-ended. So I listened to her. Okay, you got to pay a $500 deductible. Here's the garage we're taking you to. They set everything up. Go to the garage, get an estimate. Cool. Can you come in October 5th? Cool. Right? Go on October 5th. On Monday, I get a call. Right? Get a rental car. I'd mentioned, I think you saw on Twitter or Instagram, I was too small for the fucking Malibu. They switched me out to a Jeep Compass. Still don't like it. Stinks. But anyway. The shop calls me Monday. Your car's going to be ready October 19th. Great. Cool. Perfect. They call me yesterday. Hey, your trailer hitch is bent. Parts back ordered. Honda's going to send this to, they're going to get it in. The release date for this part is November 2nd. And we're not going to get it November 2nd. We might get it a couple days after that. We might get it a couple months later. We don't know. I've seen parts come in a year to 6 months. That's what she said to me. I said, well, what am I going to do with the car? She said, if we get to that, you can sign a waiver, we reassemble it, and then you come back when the part's there because it's just a bumper. Cool. All right. Call my insurance company today. Hey, blah, blah, blah. Okay, we're going to extend your rental car November 2nd. After November 2nd, you got to go out of pocket. I said, okay, well, the car's not going to be ready November 2nd unless I get extremely lucky with this part. And they said, sorry, that's what your policy says. I said, let me get this straight. I got hit. My wife did, right? Not my fault. She gets rear-ended, not our fault. I have to pay $500 deductible. And if I need a car, I'm going to have to go out of pocket. And she says, yes. And I said, okay, well, they mentioned at the shop that if that does happen, I can sign a waiver, get the car. Are you guys going to pay for the reassembly fee? No, not in your policy. Well, wait a second. When I filed this fucking claim, you said you're going after the other people's policy. All I had to do was pay the $500 deductible. Well, it's your claim. We can only go off your policy. Huh? I called the shop today. I got the call yesterday about the part being back ordered. I called them today. Hey, what's the reassembly fee? Because November 2nd, need a car. Wife's getting surgery November 6th. I got work. I got kids that got to go to school. I need a car, right? I said November 2nd, my rental car's up. I'm not going out of pocket, so I'll have to sign the waiver. She goes, yeah. Unfortunately, I was going to call you today, but I talked to my tech and your hitch is bent and we can't reassemble your bumper. So we can't release it back to you. It's a safety hazard. What's that? You can't release a car that I own back to me for a bumper. Right? And I'm supposed to go how many months potentially, right? This is all obviously, none of this has happened yet, right? This is all potentially, but the shitstorm that has been my life for the past 18 months, I know it's going to happen. So I'm preparing myself. She goes, yeah, I don't know what to tell you. You don't know what to tell me. I did all this because of my insurance. They're not helping and you're not helping. I need a car. What do I have to do? Am I have to get a lawyer to get this car? What is it going to take? She goes, listen, I could probably talk to my manager. We maybe can work something out, but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it, right? Kind of a stalemate. Get me off the phone. She saw I was getting pretty worked up. I'm flabbergasted. And the reason I'm telling you this is because I'm a little high strung. That's why I'm doing the podcast late. You're probably listening to this late. It's getting out late in the week, whatever, excuses. But my beautiful listeners, all 1,500 of you, plus more on the audio side, I know nothing about cars. If you know anything about this situation, please let me know. What should I do? My stepfather's useless. My grandfather's gone. He was the guy that used to talk me through stuff like this. My uncle, who's a lawyer, he's gone now. Do I got to get a lawyer? I already looked for aftermarket parts of the Honda Ridgeline trailer hitch. Can't find it, right? And they said we only used authorized aftermarket parts, blah, 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 blah. I tried to buy a brand fucking new OEM or whatever, frontline parts, not used, not aftermarket. Still can't find one. So please, listeners, watchers, help your boy. If you're from my neck of woods, hit me up with a good lawyer if I need one. Tell me what I got to do, because this is maddening, boys. That's empty. I'm drinking empty cups now. What am I doing? So off the top, I had to vent with that. I apologize. But some more good news is we got some new fights, baby. I got to exit. Sorry, Tapology with the ads, man. Get the fuck out of here with these ads, bro. Golly. Crazy. There's just flashing lights in the behind. Anyway, Volkanovski versus Islam 2. Better fight. Am I going to... I got a decision to make here. Am I going to shit on Charles Oliveira right now? Kinda. I'm kind of going to do it. Listen, he didn't want this fight. He didn't want to rematch this fight, and he didn't want to do it in Abu Dhabi. Obviously, he didn't get cut on purpose. But when he got cut, that's a way out. Because Alexander Volkanovski had a pretty fucking big cut on his cheek when he fought Yair Rodriguez. Fighters fight with cuts all the time. You go to a plastic surgeon, you sew it from the inside, you glue that motherfucker, you're good to go. Ali just showed 8 days before Frankie fought Jose. He had this fucking cross, like a religious cross cut on his head, sewed him up. Feel like this when he got cut, he's like, ooh, this is my way out. I don't want to go to Abu Dhabi and fight this guy. Not to mention, the fight was going to end the same way. Right? Charles might have gave a little bit more in that first round, but he was going to get submitted again. It was just only a matter of time, right? So Volkanovski, even on 10, 12, whatever days notice, off the couch with an arm injury, is a better fight. That's it. This is called MMA takes. That's a take, right? Now we go co-main event, Chimaev Usman, way better than Costa. Paulo Costa, whatever, shouldn't be in the UFC. The guy fights once a year, doesn't beat ranked guys ever. Only notable win, Yo Romero, very close fight. Some people thought he might have lost. Lost to Izzy in embarrassing fashion. Lost to Marvin Vettori, where he refused to make weight. He signed a fight. He said he didn't sign, pulled out, said he's only making $50K. This guy thinks he's a main event fighter, fights once a year, and had to pull out again because of a real injury. The bursa and all that shit on your elbow, that's disgusting. That's got to get fixed. I understand that. But for this guy to get so sensitive when people are mad at him, buddy, this is what you do. It's just simple as that. I think the UFC needs to cut their losses. Let them go fight in PFL. PFL will pay you, right? Bellator's crashing down, but PFL will sign you. Bare Knuckle will give you a ton of money. However, they got money. Now we get Usman. Had a nice little back and forth with a gentleman on Twitter. He thought the Costa fight was a better fight. I think it's the Usman. He wanted to see Chimaev against a true 85er. Really understand that point because Costa's a big guy. But Usman people forget about Usman being a dog, right? And Chimaev is a well put together guy. He is that weight where he can bounce between both, right? He's in a situation where 170 is a hell of a cut, but he can do it for sure. And Usman isn't the tallest guy, but he's a thick guy. I think 185 is going to suit him well. It's something that he's been wanting to go up there for a little bit, taking on short notice. I know he's been working, though. He's been working in Florida and in Colorado. He was in the Gaethje camp. Then he went back to Florida. He's been working, right? And this is a huge test for Chimaev. If he goes out there and finishes Kamaru or looks dominant against Kamaru, that's a bigger win than if he beats Costa, who has no wins over anybody that's still in the UFC. And every time he's got a taste of a little bit somebody competent, Marvin Tory, Izzy Adesanya, he's fallen flat, right? And he hasn't rose to those occasions. Misses weight, gets finished, and gets drunk before Izzy. The guy's got a load of problems. Get him out of here. You know what I mean? Don't need him. Got a good look. He's got the whole secret juice thing. I'm a funny guy now, right? I know broken English. Get him out, right? Usman Chimaev, better fights. UFC 294 is explicitly better, if I'm saying that word right. Probably not. Hit me in the comments if I fucked it up. It's way better. Way better, not even a doubt. Not even a doubt in my mind. Take my money. I'll pay, what is it, $80, $70 now for a pay-per-view? I'll pay $140. I'll double it. Double it. I'll pay it. All right, last thing. USADA gone. A lot of people making jokes. The memes are very funny on Twitter about fighters being juiced to the gills now. USADA obviously very bitter. Dana White was on Pat McAfee's show saying the way they handled that wasn't supposed to be announced. They're scumbags. Lawyers are involved now because all this stuff. Listen, I think it's a good thing, if I'm being honest with you. USADA was obviously a benchmark. They did great things. It was a great job for the UFC to bring them in. There's other programs out there that do certain things like this, or do exactly things like this. Are they in the level of USADA? I mean, maybe by name recognition, but maybe they have different protocols. A lot of fighters don't like dealing with USADA, right? A lot of people are saying Conor McGregor finally got a win here. You know what I mean? He beat USADA. They're going to have, obviously, independent drug testing, and I think that's going to be better all around. I mean, listen, I can't even imagine the millies they were dumping in USADA every year with UFC. They had a contract's over, go whoever you want, and time will tell. I can't wait, though, if they get some like organization that is not super strict, right? They can't go back to just commission testing because that's, you just piss in a cup. That could be, anybody can pass that. But I can't wait till a fighter who is noticeably chubby, loose, whatever the case may be, like Alex Morono, who just fought, right? The guy, since his career, has been kind of bag of milky, right? Little loose, right? Not the best body to look at. Great fighter. But you know what I mean? He's not the most intimidating guy. I can't wait till a guy like him gets ripped, right? And they ask him at like a conference, like, I've taken my workout more seriously now, really focus on strength and conditioning. Like, I can't wait till there's a fighter that was a little soft before and now is jacked to the tits, like old Uberim. Oh, I just eat horse meat. Like, no, motherfucker, you're eating a lot more than horse meat, my man. All right, here we go. Digging into the fights. Fight night here, 10-14 fight night. Sadiq Yusuff. My fucking ear will not stop itching. Sadiq Yusuff versus Edson Barboza main event. We got some decent fights here. I'm excited. I did Anik Florian. I did that earlier this week. It's not out yet. I think Kenny and John are reshooting the beginning because of all these announcements, the new main event and everything. I know those boys talked a lot about Charles Oliveira versus Islam, and I think they touched on it with me a little bit. I can't remember. But we did a pick 'em, very, very fun show. We did a lot of these picks. What do you do? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 picks on the show. It was a good show. You know what I mean? It's always a good show. I felt like I brought a good A game on that show. I felt pretty good with the boys. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna lie to you. Sometimes my show's not the best. My segment's not the best. I feel flat. Sometimes when I'm not caffeinated enough. Felt good. This one, right in the pocket. And we're trying to be in the pocket for this one. First fight of the night, Ashley Yoder, plus 285 versus Emily Ducote, minus 360. Now, I will play the soundbite, right?
Are talking like you know chicks, and I'm the one who knows chicks.
I do know chicks. I'm ill prepared for some of these fights, some of these newer females. I do know both of these females. They have fought in the UFC quite a bit. Emily Ducote came in, hair on fire, looked great against Jessica Penne, landing 116 strikes, has dropped 2 though, against some pretty good competition, right? Angela Hill outstruck her, didn't do enough, and then Lupi Gomez outstruck her and took her down 1 time. Volume's obviously got to play a factor here. You got to pick it up. You got to step on the gas a little bit. If you're Dakota, you're a big number at minus 360. I like you in this spot. Ashley Yoder's been around for a long time. She's 36, going to be 37 years, or going to be 36, I think, this month. Yeah, I'm looking at her birthday right here. Only 3 UFC wins, and has been around since 2016. That's kind of impressive. Did she come off the Ultimate Fighter? Yeah. Or maybe she didn't come off the Ultimate Fighter. Doesn't matter. 3 wins in 8 years you've been with the promotion. Impressive, pretty girl. Takes long breaks between fights, tries to get better, but I mean, just can't get it together. No one has finished her. A lot of split decisions. We got 1 split decision, 2 split decision, 3 split decisions. The rest unanimous decision, losses and or wins. She doesn't finish anybody. She also doesn't get finished. I mean, the over-under in this fight, you can go, over 2.5 minus 375. That could be the biggest fucking King Kong dick Green Hammer in the world. I don't want to give out plays like that for the Green Hammer, right? I got something else. But over 2.5, add it to my fucking card, because that's fire right there. Minus 375. That should be a little bit higher there. I like Ducote. Big number. There's not going to be I know chicks parlay. We're 0-2 in the last 2. I think we're 0-3 total all 3 times I've done it. I need to regroup. I need to go to some feminine classes. I need to watch a lot more women's MMA. I need to be in tune with my inner female before I can really claim the no chicks. But the soundbite is phenomenal. We'll play it one more time.
Talking like you know chicks, and I'm the one who knows chicks.
I do know chicks still, okay? Even though all that I just said, I know chicks, but I need to improve myself. Give me the Cody and give me the over 2.5. Maybe same game parlay, right? Maybe the same game parlay. She has climbed to minus 395. I had 360 down here. I like Dakota. All right, next up, you got Chris Gutierrez, minus 285 versus Hai Leong Tong, plus 230. Hai Leong Tong, this guy is kind of like the dog that a lot of MMA Twitter is liking here. I'm all over Chris Gutierrez. I was going to shout him out or give a prelim pick of Gutierrez on the Anakin Florian, like John lets me do like one little prelim pick, but I saw he was so high. I'm like, and he's dropped considerably. Hai Leong Tong, a lot of people like this guy. He's got a knockout at Kevin Kroom. It's only finished in UFC. Kevin Kroom, a fucking dirtbag, cuck, cheated on his best friend on his wedding night. Fucked Tim Elliott's wife on his wedding night when he was officiating the wedding. That dude is a bad dude. That dude needs to get slapped everywhere he goes. He got knocked out, though, by Hai Leong Tong, and then Chad Anglinger. Close fight. Hai Leong Tong landed some takedowns. 49 significant strikes over Chad Anglinger, who's kind of an interesting striker, but not like this great striker. His losses to Casey Kenny and Gustavo Lopez, and his Ryan Benoit. I think it's Ryan Benoit. Benoit. And then Donna Baccarat is a decision win as well for him. Fight of the night, I believe. I don't know what people are seeing. I know Hai Leong Tong is kind of a scrapper here. He's tough. He's durable. He's hard to finish. Chris Gutierrez coming off a little bit of a skid over Pedro Munoz, which, listen, I thought he might have won that fight. He outstruck Pedro Munoz. It was very, very close. Pedro did knock him down one time. I had a 29-28 Gutierrez, and I think his leg kick's phenomenal. I think he flows very well. You know, he's not the youngest guy in the world, but I think he's right in his fucking prime right now. He's 33, 32, right? I think he's 32, going to be 33. He's right in his prime, and he's starting to kind of find it, right? Before the Pedro Munoz fight, knocked out Frankie, knocked out Dana Baccarat right in front of my own 2 eyes in Columbus. I think this guy's got it. I see the value. There's some value boys out there that are playing the value. That's absolutely what could be happening. But give me Kapling. That's not a word, but give me Chris Gutierrez. Am I going to flirt with him in the slide? He's a candidate. I'm going to throw him as a candidate. I don't know what I'm going to do yet. Actually, I do. That's all teaser. I already have it written down. Next up, you got Irina Alexiseva. Oh, hold God damn it. Let me get it bigger here. Irina Alexiseva versus Melissa Dixon. Interesting fight here. Melissa Dixon is a girl that's kind of been on my radar a little bit. I've heard a lot about her. She's got an interesting story. She's an aggressive fighter. Irina came in the UFC, Some people maybe expected big things. I didn't love what I saw on tape from her, if I'm being honest with you. She beat Stephanie Yeager in her debut with a knee bar, but she's kind of a one-trick pony. If she doesn't get that knee bar, what does she have? She's a little bit of an older fighter, obviously, with making her debut here. She's 33, 34 years old, just now cracking the UFC. And you got Melissa Dixon, who's kind of a bit of a dog in there. Again, kind of making her UFC debut. So you got the UFC debut jitters. I don't even think I gave the lines here. Irina plus 124, Dixon minus 148. I'm going to go Dixon here. I like that dog in her. I think, some specialists are really interesting in MMA still. I do still love a good specialist. And I think Irina is kind of fits that bill. She wants to get the fight to the ground. She wants to implement her game. She's obviously got a leg, she got some leg locks, she got some submissions. And Melissa can stifle that. Because obviously, what do we know, people? You go for leg locks, you get your fucking head mashed in, right? I think Melissa is going to be prepared for that. And again, I just think she's got a little more dog in her, right? This is just the dog in her. She's not a dog. She's not plus money. She's minus money. So, I can't do a play on words there. Trust me, it's killing me that I'm not doing that. But give me Melissa Dixon, UFC debutante. I think she gets a win here. I think she looks good, and I'm excited to see it. All right, next up, Terrence McKinney, minus 535, beefy boy, versus Brendan Morati. I don't know how to pronounce this guy's last name. He is making his UFC debut. We know what Terrence McKinney brings to the table. An absolute blitzkrieg style, first round, grappling, striking, whatever. Last time out, he looked like he found the pocket, which is what everyone's been wanting him to do. He found the pocket his last time out. He looked good, got a finish. And I think he's prolonging that. He wants to fight again. He's kind of took this on short notice, and then his original opponent fell out. Now he's getting Brendan Morati. 8-1, the kid from New Hampshire, New England Cartel, Tyson Chartier guy. The New England Cartel, what do we know about those guys? They're just absolutely tough. Calvin Kattar, Rob Font. There's another guy who just fought recently. I can't remember off the top of my head. Just tough dudes. They had 2 guys in the contender series. That's right. But strength of schedule's weak here on Brendan. I know you can only fight the people that are in front of you. His best win is over a guy named Dan Dubois, if I'm pronouncing that right. Split decision. Dion Rubio's a fight I just watched. It's hard to find tape on him. I did find the Dion Rubio fight. Won by knockout in the second round. Dion Rubio is not very good. And his last win, who I have not seen that footage, rear naked choke in the first round, Lionel Young, who's 11-20, 11-21 now. So the record's not good. And then you got Terrence McKinney, who just absolutely blitzkriegs people. He can put you to sleep either which way. He's aggressive. He's fast. He's powerful. Brendan is obviously from a tough camp. He's tough, but you got to play inside the distance here. There's no props available. This fight got put together kind of last minute, but you got to play inside the distance. You got to play Terrence McKinney by some kind of finish. Pick your poison or double chance, whatever you want to do. That's what's going to happen. It's a huge number. I flirted with the slime, but I don't think he's going to be in it. But he is my send him home. Yep. Send him home any which way. Play this any way the number gets you best. Doesn't go to the judge's decision. Play it that way. Terrence McKinney by knockout. Terrence McKinney by submission. Terrence McKinney by knockout round 1. Terrence McKinney by submission round 1. Figure it out, right? I think I'm going to play Terrence McKinney submission round 1. They can kind of a clubber sub, left hand, Marodi shoots, rear naked choke. McKinney's quick. McKinney's fast. If it gets out of round 1, you might want to live bet Brendan Morati there, because listen, Terrence McKinney does not go 3 rounds, never has, I don't think. Gets tired quickly. In the second round is just like his worst round. So pay attention close. This is a really good live betting spot. Really good live betting spot. I'm gonna take. Here we go. Take two, and we're ready. I'm taking Terrence McKinney. He's my send him home. Let's go. Next up, oh God, another fucking name. Here we go. We got it, Brian. Tanara Lisboa. I think I nailed that. Versus Ravina Oliveira. Lisboa is a minus 325 favorite, and Oliveira is a plus 260. This is where I'm a little thin. This is where I didn't quite get to go deep on these women. I know Lisboa fought Jessica Rose Clark, had her debut, won by submission, looked pretty good on the ground. Rose Clark is obviously a solid fighter, solid grappler, but in that fight, I think it was more of a mental lapse. And Ravina Oliveira, making her UFC debut. So I don't know much about either woman besides Lisboa has a UFC win, and she's a huge favorite. She's 6-2. Let's do a little wiki capping. Got 2 titles on the topology thing. Thai Panther is her name. So we got rear naked choke, arm triangle choke, KO, punches. Her losses are by decision and rear naked choke. Norma Dumont got her years ago. Her wins are 0-0, 0-0. 2-1 was a loss by decision. 0-0 knocked someone out. 0-1, 1-4, and then got the UFC fight against Jessica Rose Clark. Got a submission. 32 years old. Man, I'm gonna pick her. I'm avoiding this fight though. Ravina Oliveira, 26 years old, coming out of Brazil too. 2 Brazilian and we're gonna have the same record. These Brazilian records are just so crazy pattern. 1 loss back in 2018 over Walasaka Souza. And then she has a win over 0-0, a win over 0-1, a win over 1-1, a win over 0-0, a win over 0-0, a win over 0-0. And then she finally has a win before UFC debut over an 8-5 fighter. Is that 8-5 or 6-5? She's 17-27 now since they fought Simone da Silva. That was way back in that can't be right. She was 8-5 and now she's 17-27. Oh, okay, that's her pro boxing record. Okay. So terrible, right? And she won by ground and pound in the 3rd round. Yeah, I mean, listen, give me Lisboa. Both these records are weak. I got to see them in the cage before I really see if they're low level or not. Give me Lisboa. We're moving on. Darren Elkins, the damage, baby. Plus 160. What the hell is that? Is that the insurance company attacking my throat? They coming for my throats now, boys? Darren Elkins, plus 160 versus TJ Brown, 17-10. Let me see if this line has stayed true. Minus 180 for TJ Brown, plus 150 for Darren Elkins. Coming down a little bit. We picked this in Anakin Florian. You got to stay tuned for the breakdown on this one. This is obviously the first fight we did. Very interesting predicament I put myself in. I don't want to spoil it because I do want you guys to go watch that. It will probably be out. You probably already watched it since you're listening and watching this, but whatever. Go watch that. It's whatever. But I'm going with the damage, baby. TJ Brown being minus 180. I will say he's made improvements for sure. This guy used to gas out. He used to, did the Janny Chavez fight, puts a bad taste in my mouth. He would gas out. He'd force takedowns. He wouldn't trust to stand up. He's finally trusting to stand up a little bit. I think he can get to Darren Elkins on the stand up. I think he's cleaner. Problem is Darren Elkins has got that pushy punch style. And if he lands, he can put you the fuck out. TJ Brown's a grappler. Darren Elkins is a grappler. He can be controlled a lot. Darren's going to push the pace because his cardio is unmatched. He's going to be bleeding within the first minute, which I wish we could bet on. I like Darren Elkins just creating wild scrambles, getting the living shit kicked out of him in round 1 or 2, and somehow winning by submission or TKO in round 3. I'm going to play Darren Elkins by round 3 finish, which I don't know if that's available. It is. Let's see. So Darren Elkins to win. Darren Elkins to win by KO, TKO in round 3 is plus 3,500. Submission in round 3 is plus 2,200. I wonder if I could just pick the round. Yeah. Darren Elkins to win round 3 or decision plus 300. Not as juicy. I'd have to choose maybe submission. Maybe TJ Brown's got some good. Yeah, I don't know. Darren Elkins win by submission around 2,200. I don't know if that's something you got to flirt with. Those are big numbers. Give me the damage. I don't love this pick. It's not like I'm putting a lot on this, but when you give me plus money against TJ Brown, I'm going to take it. I don't think TJ Brown should be a favorite over anybody currently. He can go out there and absolutely dog walk Darren Elkins and fucking make him bleed out. Let's not hope that happens. And look like an absolute stud. But you got to prove it. And this is a game where I don't know if he's going to prove it. So I got to put my money on a guy who has proven to come back and win and be the damage, like he says. All right, next up, you got Cameron Simon, plus 136 versus Christian Rodriguez, C-Rod, plus 162. Let's see if this has moved at all. Very good fight. One of the more fights I'm most excited about. Line has stayed exactly the same. So you got Cameron Simon from South Africa. That South African team, the country is bubbling. Their head coach is very, very good. Cameron Simon, Contender Series, and he's only gotten better since then. good striker, flowy on the ground. I feel like he's not super strong. I think Christian Rodriguez has proved he is a pretty strong man in there, even though he's only 25 years old. He bullied Rojas Jr., so I think Christian Rodriguez is going to have the strength advantage. Christian Rodriguez needs to keep this fight on the feet, I think. I think he's good grappler. I think he can more than hang with Cameron Simon, but I think his advantage would be on the feet because Simon's a guy that I see kind of starts a little slow and puts it together and builds. That South African camp is so well-rounded, and Simon's one of those well-rounded guys that if Christian Rodriguez blows his wide, falls apart a little bit, coming off the biggest win of his career, a lot of hype around him. You're getting stamped by guys in Milwaukee. You got Anthony Pettis probably could be in your corner. Sergio Pettis, those guys are loving you. You know, you come in, you drop a dud, that can happen. Cameron Simon plus money. Taking Cameron Simon, I'm taking the South African. I like him to win by decision. I think the over 2.5 is minus 180. Almost a green hammer, right? That was an interesting play. I looked at that pretty hard, but anything can happen with these young guys, 25, 22 years old. I'm going to go Simon because he's the plus money. I think it's going to be a close fight. I think either guy will win by decision. So if you don't like a side, play fight will go to decision. Play fighter, C-Rod or Simon will win by decision. I think that's what's going to happen. All right, next up, you got Edgar Shirez versus Daniel Lacerda. Shirez minus 350, Lacerda plus 280. So there's never been a fighter 0-4, right? 0-5, 0-4 in the UFC who has more love than Daniel Lacerda. People are going to bet him because they want him to win. He's an absolute fucking wild man. He fights like he's got Bengay and itch powder all over his balls and dick. His hair's on fire. That's how he fights. I rewatched their first fight that ended in the controversial choke. Listen, Lacerda was playing the game, right? Tyone was feeling his arm. And then when it goes limp, which he went limp, I know the broadcasters defended it, but come on, man. You were playing the game. You were in tight. I think it was going to get worse for you. But even before that, the little sample we got before that, Shirez just absolutely butchered him. Better on the feet, quicker, and they're running it back. And I think that's only going to be an advantage for Shirez, who's been in there with this wild and crazy guy and goes, I got him. I can choke him. I'm bigger than him. I'm stronger than him. I can take him down and I can box him up. All I got to worry about is these flying fucking jump kicks and knees and spinning shit. Other than that, I got him. I love Shirez here. He's almost my mortal lock, but I passed. Definitely a slime ball candidate, baby. Throw him in that slime right there. Edgar Shirez. I love it. Number obviously high, minus 355. He was minus 275 when I got this line the other day. So the numbers are climbing. Even though people love Lacerda, people saw what I saw in that first fight, and they're betting the smarter side. All right, next up, Andre Petroski, plus 170 versus Michel Pereira, minus 205. Love this fight. Woo, Pereira. I really dug in deep because this fight was the hardest fight I had to break down. I broke this down in Yannick and Foyne. Do I gotta keep picking up these names? I'm sorry. It slips out, right? But I love this fight because Petroski's a guy I have faded. And Pereira's a guy I don't think's all that good. I think he's got an interesting style, but he doesn't finish people. He's a striker that doesn't finish people. He's gassed out before. He's ultra durable, great chin, huge for 170. This fight's at 85. He's fighting a beefy boy in Petroski who's taking on short notice, who also has a little bit of a gas tank issue. I have heard some people say that they saw Pereira in the gym recently and he's in phenomenal shape. He's an excellent striker. He's wild in there. If Petroski took this fight going, I want a big name on my resume, a guy with multiple UFC wins and a guy who's people pay attention to him, Pereira, on a main card. I got to go out there. I got to beat this guy. I got 1 or 2 rounds in me, right? Because Petroski's going to have to grapple. His striking's coming along a little way. It looked okay against Jared Muscard. Cardio looked pretty good against Jared Muscard, but we haven't seen Pereira go against a true grappler, nor have we seen him go against a true grappler in the UFC at this size. So I'm taking Petroski here. He's my dog lock, baby.
Hello? Okay, this is dog.
Okay, this is dog lock city, Petroski, but there's a little caveat. I like Petroski early. I think if he gets it done, it's going to have to be by submission. Submissions plus 700. Add it to my card. Petrosky by decision plus 380. That's a decent number too. But let's see winning method, right? Fight parlays. Petrosky to win by submission in round 2 plus 1800. Yes, sir. Him to win by submission in round 3, 2800. 2 or 3, I think is fucking good. I think he wins. If he wins by sub. There's some fucking gorgeous numbers out there on the plus money side. That's getting this dick a little bit of blood flowing through it right now. I'm about to flip my goddamn desk over with it, right? Give me Petrosky. Give me him by finish. Give me by submission. And I'm playing that every which way. I'm going to play Petrosky by submission separate. No same game parlay. Petrosky money line plus 170, done, right? Petrosky by submission, round 2 plus 1800, done. Petrosky by submission plus 380, or whatever I just said, done. 3 separate bets for my guy, Evan Longoria. Evan Longoria, 8 games away to be World Series champ, baby. The Snakes are coming. Sorry, Philly. Sorry, Braves. You're getting ran through. Evan Longoria is number 3. This is my 3 bets right here. Petrosky money line. Whoop. Petrosky submission plus 380. Whoop. Petrosky submission round 2 plus 1800. One of those are hitting, and we're fucking going to the Sizzler or whatever they say. Give me Petrosky. All right, next up, fight the best fight of the card, in my opinion. Main event. Maybe give this a run for the money. Jonathan Martinez. He's a minus 108. Pick him. It's a pick him. Adrian Yanez. Hold on. How does he want to? Yanez. Adrian Yanez. Minus 112. Yanez obviously got stomped up by Rob Font last time out. It was an uncharacteristic fight for Yanez. I've watched that fight several times. This is a guy who's a young guy who was steamrolling everybody besides maybe Davey Grant, right? And knocking everyone out and having good success. And he goes against a guy like Rob Font, who was on fire, who has great boxing. And Yanez got hit in the mouth a few times because his defense is a little suspect. It is. He got hit in the mouth against Rob Font, goes, oh, this is a different level. Let me bite down on this motherfucker and let's go. Problem is Rob Font's countering ability was phenomenal. Put Yanez away. Rob Font's a stud, especially on the feet. No shame in that. I think Yanez has taken a little bit of time off. I think he's only gotten better. His mind for the sport is phenomenal. He's great on Remember the Show. I like Adrian Yanez a lot here. Mortal fucking lock, baby. That's a pick'em mortal lock. Minus 112 mortal lock. Slime ball candidate as well. And boy, do you remember this thing? You remember me smashing up this thing, baby? This is the Green Hammer, the new and approved Green Hammer. If you haven't been here in a while, this is it. Look at this fucking thing, man. This thing is beautiful. Green Hammer play. We're going to go double chance. Adrian Yanez by knockout or to submission, by KO or submission, double chance on DraftKings Sportsbook right now. Place the bet plus 100. Plus 100. That's a multi-unit prop play at plus money, and I love it. It was like this hammer hit me in the head with it when I was looking to find the Green Hammer. It said, take it. There's others you can take, but take that one. This spoke to me. Let's go, baby. That's it right there. Plus 100. I love it. Adrian Yanez getting it done. Slimeball candidate, mortal lock. Let's go. Co-main event, Jennifer Maia versus Viviana Araújo. Maia minus 155. Araújo plus 130. Don't know why this is a co-main event. I don't want to shit on women's MMA. I love women's MMA. Some of the best fights are women's MMA. This fight's not going to be good. The over for 2.5 is minus 500. So they're saying this going to decision, boys. Jennifer Maia has activated her striking lately. She doesn't grapple as much, and it's volume. Not a lot of power, volume. She out-volumes her opponents. Araújo has some power, debuted and won by knockout. Hasn't really got back to that yet. I think Jennifer Maia is an all-around better mixed martial arts here. I think martial artist, If she wants to take it down, she'll take it down. If she wants to stand at range and strike with her, she can. As long as she has a speed advantage, I think she can win a decision here. Jennifer Maia is my play. But really, I have no play. I'm playing a lot of other spots. Going to be a pass for me, but give me Jennifer Meyer. All right, main event, Sadiq Yusuff, -170 versus Edson Barboza, +142. Sorry for steamrolling right through that co-main event. I know some people may be like, oh, you didn't spend enough time to co-main event. Yeah, maybe, but I'm not going to play it, so I didn't dive into it. I don't want to waste your time. We're at 40 minutes here, man. All right, main event. Sadiq Yusuff versus Edson Barboza. Interesting fight. So Sadiq Yusuff, up until Pacheco and Silva this year on the Contender Series, had the best fight in the Contender Series against him and Mike Davis. Came to the UFC, has only one blemish with Arnold Allen, but some real inconsistencies of fighting often. I think he hurt his Achilles or knee. He did have some kind of injury that put him out for a while. I do remember that, but the level of competition as well hasn't been great besides obviously Arnold Allen. He's been a little chinny as well. He's been put down before in some fights. He's rebounded well. I mean, Arnold Allen dropped him twice and he's gotten up, cardio on point. I kind of wish he would leave that Lloyd Irvin gym. I think he has bounced around a little bit. I want to say he spent some time in Texas years ago or months ago, whenever, but I can't be sure. Hit me in the comments if I'm wrong, but I don't know. I just think a fighter like Sadiq just hasn't grown enough. And then you got Barboza, who doesn't really lose to strikers. Sadiq Yusuff obviously he's a well-rounded mixed martial artist, but he has one takedown landed in the UFC. Edson Barboza doesn't give up the first one. He gives up the second and third one. I don't think Sadiq has the chain wrestling to do that. Not to mention, I don't know if he's been training grappling enough or wrestling enough to have 5-round cardio for that. I think Edson is special in the feet, even at the age. He's absolutely fucking shredded for 145. It is absolutely insane. Sadiq looks great too, but Barboza's just on a different level with the shreddy, bro. This dude is nuts. But if you look at Barboza when he fights a striker, he rarely loses. The last time I remember Giga Chikadze, which was a very close fight, but he ultimately lost. Giga is obviously a special striker. And there's other instances, Justin Gaethje knocked him out. Donald Cerrone actually submitted him. But, Barboza's chin's not great either, but he's getting better at his age. He's finally fighting for, I think, just the fight. He's not going to touch a title at 145. I think he's doing it to be a main event, to get some eyes on him. Maybe some crazy fluke world who'll get a title shot, but I doubt it. But give me Barboza as the dog here. And not only that, but slime him the fuck up as well. I'm confident. I'm sweating. Look at that fucking glisten. I don't put underdogs in the slime ball ever. I mean, I'm talking hardly ever. And I just fucking did. So, slime ball parlay, for those wondering, Edson Barboza, Adrian Yanez, and Edgar Shirez, right? Guess how much that is? Plus 506. The biggest slime ball we've ever had. Usually I come in at about 140, plus 140. Plus 506. And I think all those are winnable fights, baby. Woo! Again, recap, slime ball, Barboza, Yanez, Shirez, plus 506. Green Hammer, Yanez to win by knockout or decision, plus 100. Mortal Lock, Adrian Yanez. Dog Lock, Andre Petrosky, send him home. Terrence McKinney. What else we got, babe? That's a winner. Let's win some money before the big pay-per-view. I want to shout out Average Joe Artwork. If you're seeing this on your iTunes, hopefully they've made the transition. I've made the switches on my social media. He did some phenomenal artwork for me. It's right here on the screen right now. Woo, boy. Your boy, he made me buff. I'm buffed up, right? He obviously helped out the neck beard, right? He put a little bit more on my chin. Some people say I look like Frank Mir. I think I look like a fucking stud, baby. Shout out Average Joe. That's dope. Dope artwork. You guys are the best. Brian Petrie on all social media. And let's have a weekend. Let's have a weekend to have a weekend to have a next weekend. You know what I mean?